Are you gonna jump right over this when you skip the nice, I think?
No.
Recording it.
Oh, I mean, we can just do the minutes really quick, it's the only thing. I was just-
So I can prove to the city purposes. So are you still setting up, Zach?
Yeah.
Oh, no, no.
Did you work downstairs?
Downside.
No, I ended up working inside, I was drawing.
okay.
Yeah, my trust is supposed to come next week, so I'm trying to get ready for that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take some.
It's the latter first one.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
clerk's office didn't
Can you
know,
open the meeting with just the owl and their team?
Yeah, so we're technically good enough, so I didn't think we're gonna start and I can.
You find out, right?
Okay.
You can tell me which ones were.
Is there anyone on?
I had like
Zoom?
56 and then I ended up with 49 being okay.
Okay,
So.
all right, that's good to know. Just let me know if someone pops on, just so we can see. All right. Let's count everyone ready? Okay, all right. The time is, it looks like 7:02. And welcome to everyone to the Town of Long Meadow Planning Board, Wednesday, March 6th, 2024. We are holding this meeting in a hybrid format. Zach indicated that there isn't anyone on Zoom at the moment, so don't feel like there's people lurking out there. All right, we'll go ahead and do a roll call. Bruce,
here,
Brian,
Here.
Chris,
Here.
Cheryl here, Walter.
Present.
Okay, did everyone have a chance to look over the meeting minutes from our last meeting, February 7th?
yes,
Were there any suggested revisions?
looked okay to me.
Okay. Anyone else?
Make a motion to accept the minutes of, February 7th.
Okay, is there a second? Great. All in favor? Bruce,
Yes.
Brian, Chris,
Yes.
Cheryl, yes, Walter,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, excellent. There are, no approval not required applications, and so we'll move right into our continued public hearing of the site design review application for 1148 Converse Street. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to, reopen our continued public hearing, if that makes sense to everyone from last time. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Bruce, Brian, Chris,
Yes.
Cheryl, yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Hello, I'll invite you both to just state your name and your address and your purpose in being here tonight.
What's that? You guys just hold on to it. I gotta record this just because I have to write a decision.
Okay, great. Good evening. My name is Philippe Cravo of our Levesque Associates, project engineer, here today or tonight with
Rabbi Noah Kosofsky, the principal director of LYA, also known as the Lavatory Yeshiva Academy.
So what are you, Philip?
Philippe Cravo. F-I,
Oh, F-I.
yeah.
I'm trying to do the French version.
F-I-L-I-P as in Peter, E. Cravo, C-R-A, V as in Victor, O.
Thank you.
Okay.
I know.
All right, so we're here for a site plan.
My name.
I know you.
Address, no address.
Would you like to, for the record?
The school is at 1148 Congress Street. My home address is 12 Cranwell Lane.
Thank you.
So we're here tonight for the site plan application for the proposed site improvements at 1148 Congress Street. The location of the existing Yeshiva Academy. I believe everyone's familiar with the location of the sites towards the end of Congress Street near the intersection of Joy. Adjacent to the site, directly behind it, the abutter to the north is the town of Long Meadow DPW garage. There are two office buildings off to the east. There is a building, associated with the NICFA Association off to the west and Converse Street to the south. So currently there's, two existing access points to the site. There is one along towards the easterly property line, that makes a loop around the front. That's where I believe, the kids get dropped off. And then you have the exit through the curb cut towards the center of the parcel. Farther off to the west, there's an existing parking lot. And then farther, there's, just some outdoor field, recreational field area. The topography towards the northwesterly corner, sort of drops off in the woods. You're about elevation 210 near the building, the property line, you're about 186. So.
I got a pretty decent,
Grade drop across the back there, which will come into play, on the proposed conditions. Along the easterly property line, you have sort of just like a paved access path here, to get access to the rear of the building and just some, vegetated land off to the east. So what is being proposed as part of the application is, some improvements to the site. These improvements are intended to be phased out. So the first phase is the work towards the east of the existing building. So in all, they're gonna maintain the two existing access points and introduce a third access point off to the west. So there's a new parking lot proposed along the easterly property line here, with the east of the building. The circulation along the front of the building will stay the same, the way as it is, just improved, new pavement, new curb, things like that. Some ADA access parking spaces right along the front here, and then an access drive towards a parking area, in front of a proposed building addition, a 10,000 square foot building addition, to the west of the existing building. Towards the,
Sorry, is that where the fields currently are, like the
yeah.
baseball fields? Okay.
yeah, generally where the fields are, if you can see at the end of the existing parking lot is about right here.
Okay,
It's denoted there, is it?
Yeah, so that line right here, so,
That's
about
exactly-
half, that end of the parking lot is about halfway down the building.
are you relocating the fields elsewhere on the property or just eliminating them with the addition? Or you're not sure yet?
We understand that we must have a field virtual for the students. So at this point, we're not sure how we're going to do that and where we're going to do that.
You
And,
must,
sorry?
you must.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, okay.
Under state law or?
No, what's, just for their students,
It's like a-
recreational.
Yes, sure, okay, I get it.
But I think that the main thing is that,
Mhm.
we are looking at some other options. But right now, we're primarily focused on phase one of the project.
I have a question on the curb cut or I guess the new curb cut. Is that gonna be in and out or?
No, that would be an egress only.
Egress only, okay.
So the circulation on the site, probably see a little better on this plan.
Yeah.
The circulation on the site would be a one-way in, as it currently is here. Across the front, you'd have a dedicated drop-off lane here, bypass lane to a two-way in and out intersection here, so that these cars can get out. And then this would be a one-way into the property, and then this circulation is also the same. It's one-way in, you have the stacked parking on either side of the drive aisle, and then a one-way out over there.
I assume somebody can come in at the, whatever, the far right
Yes.
and stay on the property
And
to
then stay on
get
the
into,
property.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
I just want to point out that right now it's a major problem during dismissal time. When you have cars that are trying to leave the building, through the property, and you have cars coming from the other side trying to leave. So an additional egress would be really helpful for safety and for just the traffic flow.
What, just, what are the time when the cars come in the morning and when they leave in the evening or afternoon?
In the morning, it's a little more spread out. Some students arrive at 8:15. Some students are dropped off before 8. And the majority of the students are dropped up around before 8:30. In the afternoon, it's between 3:20 and 3:40.
Is there maybe not in the afternoon, but in the morning, is there a problem with like commuter traffic on Converse?
There's a much greater problem at dismissal time.
Oh, really?
It's-
Yeah, that's when a lot of the, facilities in East Long Meadow let out their staff between 3 and 3:30.
Hamden, it's the only access to Hamden, from Hamden, East Long Meadow
To the 91,
to
yeah.
91. But in both directions, people are leaving, coming, I don't know from where, but they're going eastbound and westbound. And it's sometimes before the traffic light and everything was changed at Dwight Road, William Street, Dwight Road, and Commerce Street. It was a major disaster, and that improved things greatly.
And we got you a nice sidewalk too.
Out in.
Don't forget, that sidewalk.
Yeah,
That was a Benny.
100%, but the traffic was
I know.
always backed up to our building from the
Back
Dwight
up,
Road.
now it does back.
So it's much better since that was done, but it's still there.
Will you be adding more when the addition is built, will you be adding more students and staff?
That's undetermined.
Oh.
It would be nice, but it's, that's not why we're doing this addition.
Care to tell why you're doing it?
Sorry?
Why you're doing it, the addition? Not out
Because right now we are, the building was built, the initial building was built in 1979.
Yeah.
And the whole scope of our institution, our school, changed dramatically. So there are many programs that are going on. There's adult education, 14 adult education classes a week. There's programs, there's prayer services every day, weekends, and everything is just so tight. Our office is a size of one office is size 10 by 20, and we have 3 people working in that tiny office. And with a copier and other things going on there, there's like no room. We have 3 of our rabbis are working from the auditorium, and they have no office. So the whole scope of our operation changed.
Sorry to leave it to everything.
Yep, so, just to kind of hit on some of the, benefits to what's happening here is that currently the only sort of dedicated parking area on the property is that parking lot that's off to the left-hand side of the building. So under the phase 1 construction, that parking lot will stay there, but we'll also be constructing, this new parking lot onto the east side here, which will just provide additional parking and that, for staff and visitors and things like that. So from site layout, that's the circulation. The topography of the site, generally along the frontage here, along the front of the building is gonna stay exactly the same. As you can imagine, it's an existing building, can't really change too much with it there. That grade will carry out across the front of the new building addition and then kind of come down, slope down towards that, access here on the west-hand side of the site. The addition will sort of be a walkout, as I was talking about before, there's that grade drop. So the addition will be a walkout, and then just beyond the walkout, a retaining wall back there, just to kind of step the grade down from where it is up front to behind the building, and then again to down on the other side of the wall. On the easterly side, the parking lot is gonna grade down from the highest points along the rear property line towards a series of low points here, along the throat of the intersection, to collect the stormwater runoff. And then along the easterly side of the parking lot, it'll slope down as it does today, towards the easterly property line. So phase one, there's the only new utilities, I guess, being incorporated as part of phase one would be the stormwater management system. That to collect the runoff, treat, and attenuate the runoff from the new parking area, and the existing parking. Any new utility connections will come during this phase two, and that will include water, sewer, and electric, new water, sewer, and electric service for the new building, to be done, during that, the construction of that phase. So that's generally the site plan, what's being proposed here. We have corresponded with the planning department. We have issued some response letters to comments that were given to us. But just to kind of, just an overview of some of the different departments that have reviewed the site. The fire department has reviewed it and basically said we have no concerns with the access at this time. Down the road, we will address need for sprinklers, alarms, etc. Police said that they do not have any concerns. Planning said that they don't have any concerns. One of the things is from Corin is the building elevations of the proposed addition. So that's something that hasn't been finalized yet at this point, but hopefully that can be a condition. So prior to any construction beyond the phase one limit, and once those plans have been developed, we can come back before the board to kind of work through and present the elevations of that proposed building addition.
Can you delineate phase one, exactly what phase one involves?
Phase one is basically from the front door, the front door to the east. It includes this new parking area here.
Plus the additional curb cut on the left.
The additional curb cut will happen during
Phase
phase
two.
two,
Okay.
yes.
So will it be paved then, the phase one, anything paved after it's ripped up? Because I know you have to put retention basins in on that.
Yep, so phase one, we anticipate that this whole basically front drive entrance here up to just beyond the front door would get repaved, including the new parking area, because that subsurface system, the stormwater system is going under the parking lot off to the east side there.
So you're gonna install this one too on the west side?
Not during phase one. So the way it was designed was very specifically to be
Service the parking
separate,
lot for
separate.
the existing building.
Yep, so this one is going to service everything from this side of the site, and then basically from the front door over, will be
That's sort of where the land is cleared today, on the east
the
side.
east side, yes. Yep.
So phase one doesn't include the building at all, it's just
Correct,
the land and the parking lot?
correct, yep. Yes, correct, yep. So that would include here. Continuing on with the different departments, I've met with Tim Keen, the town engineer. He's, we reviewed the plans. He's issued his stormwater management permit.
For what though? The whole
For,
entire project?
for the entirety of the project. Well, that's just to say that, this,
That the plan
That the
is,
plan
he's acceptable
itself.
to the plan in general for the whole project.
Correct.
Including the new building, drainage, all that from stormwater
From
runoff
stormwater.
will suffice with the plan,
yes.
future use.
Yep. The tree warden, has recommended that we, replace some of the species that we called out, which is totally fine, that's absolutely, something we can do. Health department, nothing, conservation, there's no conservation jurisdictional area here, so they have no comment, and nothing from the historic commission. With that being said, I think if there are questions from the board, we can specifically try to answer them. I know we've kind of been more of a discussion here, so,
Our first time meeting.
yeah.
Does anyone have
great.
any
No, it's
questions
great.
on the board?
When do you plan on doing phase two?
After we complete phase one.
Nice. Yes,
Very philosophical.
I like that.
We're, so phase one is a immediate need. The current parking situation is really, bad. Many times there's no place for people to park. Whenever there's, rain, whenever there's a snow and the snow is, plowed, we lose a few spots, a few parking spaces. We have prayer services every morning, so people come to those prayer services. Then
What time are
school,
those?
that's at 7:30, then the schools, clientele, the school community starts showing up. And people have no place to park, the teachers have no place to park. And then until the people coming for services leave at about 8:15, 8:30, 8:45, depending on what, and there's a particular situation. So there's like on a regular day, there's no place to park. Maybe by the afternoon, some people leave, there's more space. So that's like an immediate need, and it's critical that we do that.
Is phase one fully funded, ready to go?
No, it's
Ready to
partially
start.
funded.
Okay.
It's partially funded.
Okay.
When we initiated this project, we were quoted a cost,
Mhm.
but over the last 2 years since we've been working on this project,
They would double.
costs have gone up quite a bit.
Mhm.
So we're,
Well, the thing is, just remember that if we do go to approval tonight, we only give you 2 years, so, we did this previously, we were firm with the Dwight Road Medical Complex. We actually approved a building that was never built, we just approved the site, it was all designed, and that 2 years expires, the building, we have to come back to the planning board. I just don't want to see you back here again, you can do all this within 2 years.
and it's on that.
Well, I think we
Well, they
would
have to
want
come back
to
to the
see them
building.
back. for
Well, they
the-
would, but I'm just saying in 2 years, our
Yeah.
decision tonight would expire.
Yeah.
And so whatever has not happened, that's the back.
What other questions from the board?
Do you have a photometric plan? It's on your table of contents, but it's not in the
Yeah,
packet.
where's that photometric? That was, I was gonna ask that too. Thanks.
Especially with the grade change on the east, you're higher than your neighbors,
Yeah.
and you have sight lights, so it might be shining down into
Yeah,
there.
the photometric plan is on order. It's not something we do in-house. We don't have.
Is that part of
we don't
phase
have
one?
it. I reached out to them today, that's part of, so these sort of darker symbols
Seems
here
like,
are the.
especially in that back corner where the grade drops off pretty steeply, you're gonna be looking up from the neighboring property to the bottom.
Yeah, to back here.
Yeah.
What I can say about that is that we have,
Can you explain, not familiar with the terms.
a photometric plan is a plan that on a grid, it shows how much light is projected from, say, a utility pole or a parking lot light here down in foot candles. And so the intensity of that light shining down on any given spot.
So you're concerned about the.
So like
Well,
that,
see,
see
the
that,
idea-
see that?
So
So you don't want it shining in your eyes and
Yes,
they,
I
yeah.
get it. So the whole of the Fitzgerald building, whole of the Lincoln building, your face is a little lower.
Significant, I say significantly lower. Yeah.
So we can, hit zero at the property line. That's the intent and goal every time we've done these, every time we have it. There's ways to do it, to mitigate it, shielding and all this stuff. I just don't have that photometric plan.
The idea is to keep the illumination on your property
Yeah.
rather than shining onto somebody else's.
Right, correct. And today's LED technology is so good.
Yeah, it's so good. It's really amazing.
You should incorporate LED, solar if you can. Totally great. Really good. Simple.
Any other questions from the board? No? Are there any members of the public on Zoom? Okay. All right, well, I will open up our hearing to questions from members of the public, but since there are none, we'll bring it back to
Should I make a motion to close the public
any further
hearing?
discussion. None? Yeah.
We're talking about what exactly we're
Sure.
improving, right? Phase one only with the condition to come back
Well,
for
we
phase.
can close the public
Okay,
hearing first and then, yeah.
Is it phase one minus the?
Well, there's no definition. Well, yeah, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing first.
Oh,
I'll second the
okay.
motion. All in favor? Bruce?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Cheryl, yes.
Well, to answer your question, there is no phase one really written anywhere, so I did make a motion here, that would cover a lot of the conditions we're looking for.
Do you wanna call it out and then we can talk about it?
All right, so, I'm gonna make a motion, and it really starts off, for my purposes of a decision. It says, whereas 1148 Converse Street is located in residence zone A2, and its use is permitted by Massachusetts General Law 48, Section 3. That's a Dover amendment for those of you who are not familiar. So I move to approve the site plan submitted case 2024-0207-1 for 1148 Converse Street with the following conditions. Condition 1, as referenced in chapter 315-44, section A, point 5 of the Long Meadow zoning bylaw titled Content of Plan, the applicant shall deliver to the planning board for the proposed buildings and structures within the site a plan to include dimensions, height, and architectural elevations and showing exterior entrances prior to the issuance of any building permit. Condition number 2, a revised plan showing plantings within the proposed site landscaping plan according to recommendations made by the Town of Long Meadow Tree Warden, referencing to the applicant's plan C7. And I'm gonna add condition number 3, an acceptable photometric plan. I can't make any reference to, there's no phases.
Well, there's a fee on the one drawing, there's a phase called out. Hold on there, Joe. I guess I'm just asking why we're approving.
We're
Well, I'm
approving
against it, I'm
the
just
land.
saying, why are we approving the entire project and not just approving phase 1?
I think we can also just say, you know, what has now come to be known as phase one. I think it's pretty,
It's not written out in the
Clear.
plan anywhere.
It's on the C4 drawing.
C4?
Yep.
Before there is a line that goes.
Well, also the parking was confusing too, I should say. You had minus 20 existing parking spots, and I proposed 71. I don't know about the typo,
71, yeah, it's definitely 71 total.
but I said minus 21 on the.
it's pretty clear that they're not subtracting parking spots and that they're adding them.
Well, no, but that would be the actual existing, but the last one, at least they don't.
Oh, it was, you know, it was approximately, it's a.
It's supposed to be approximate, it's
Yeah,
not a,
it's
not a dash.
Yeah, not a dash, it's probably just.
Okay.
Illegible, but.
So you guys don't like my motion then? Because there
I'm
is,
just
again,
like it, I'm just asking a question.
I just don't see, I can amend it to, I can amend my motion to include a reference to phase 1, approve the site plan submitted for phase 1. This
Well, just
is,
because you don't like,
Well,
let's say
it's
they go to
put that in
build a
email,
building in a year and the cost goes up double again, the building might change significantly and then.
and after 2 years, they're gonna come back anyway. Yeah. Okay, so
There are gonna
I
be
will change the
Lights
motion
on the
again.
building, which are gonna have photometrics
Well,
associated with
are
it.
we approving, are you looking for anything to be approved tonight?
We have to approve the site
Wait,
plan as
wait.
presented.
That is not to the east of the front door?
No.
No.
You're looking at phase 1 approval.
You got a
It's
site
a-
plan.
I mean,
No, you have a site plan application, and that's either you take it, you can't take it or leave it, you have to either, approve it as presented or amend it with conditions. Or we could deny the whole plan, which would, I'm sure, you would not be
Well,
happy.
can't we approve the site plan as to phase one of the plan?
Right, and define phase 1 as perhaps
Which
everything
is-
to the
No.
east of
Okay,
the
yeah.
existing front door?
It's the final,
Unless there's some other landmark there that.
yeah, they're
we
drawing,
use.
define it,
Yeah,
what phase 1 is.
it's phase 1 is essentially here, and the reason that that line kind of cuts on that side of the front door is that in order to build a stormwater system for phase 2.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do some work in that front entrance drive there,
Much
so,
more expensive.
so you don't wanna tear, put in fresh pavement and then have to come back and tear it up, so it's gonna be, basically everything from the front door to the east.
So what if
So
we
that-
made a motion to approve the site and design review as to phase one?
Where is phase 1 again showing up here though?
C4,
I'm looking to see what that's here.
over here on my screen.
I should read it out.
To see this heavy dash line right here,
Yeah,
that's phase 1.
How do you know that?
It's
it
set
says phase 1 right here.
where?
Right there.
Touch screen versus-
Oh, sorry.
So he's defining what phase 1 is, so
Okay, so why don't we change that to find phase 1 as, on plan C4? Here we go. But still, That would not include them, so they'd have to come back then
On the
for.
condition that they've come back for approval of phase two.
Should be the question.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, so if you only approve phase one,
Mhm.
and then, and a year from now, we come back here and we ask you to approve phase two,
You can come back.
do we have, well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
for example, will we have 2 years from that point to complete phase two?
Yeah,
Yes,
And,
but you have to go to the public hearing process again and notice of butters and yada yada.
Well, we have to
I,
do
what
that
we have today,
anyway.
you know, this building could be, who knows what it is, we haven't
We
seen it
haven't
yet.
seen the building, so
Yeah.
they have to come back anyway, and
That's
it's
why,
all part of phase
that's
two.
part of my condition.
So it's just a lot cleaner to do the phase one, because it's the only work that you're doing right now. And you have to come back for phase two.
we could come back in a month, and we come back in.
Whenever I can.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
yeah, if somebody leaves you, $10 million, tomorrow,
If
you
we
can
win.
come back our next meeting.
So again, we're approving this with conditions, because the application says proposed construction of an addition to the existing building with associated site improvements located blah, blah, blah. And that's what refers to plans, the addition of a building. It's in the application, so how do you? That's what they
My
applied for.
question is, you do not want to issue a permit for phase two because of the other, of the.
Well, no, because we don't have this.
Too many unknowns.
There's unknowns,
Or not-
unknowns.
not permission.
Maybe architectural,
Yeah.
things like that.
Can I just
So
say that?
we deny them the application on the condition of only phase one being approved, see? Bruce, what do you think? What's the language here? Because we,
Well, I would say we're only approved, I don't know that we say we're denying them on phase two, but we just say we're only approving phase one.
Yeah, could the condition be, you have to come back for
Chris was
all approvals in the phase two area as designated on C four.
Right,
That's the
I think that's
condition.
pretty clear. I mean, I see what you're saying here in the
where's phase
request.
two though, show up on the plan?
Same.
Oh, I see it right here, yep, got it right here.
Okay, so do you wanna try the motion again then, Walter, with what we just said?
Okay, because then I will remove the condition of, we're looking for the planning board, so we'll make a motion to approve the site plan submitted case 2024-0207-1 for 1148 Converse Street for phase one,
As defined in drawing.
and as defined in drawing C4. That's all I have to do, because the plantings and everything else, I imagine, would happen in phase two.
And then should we say on the condition
And
that,
there's some plantings in phase one, around the parking dumpster enclosure, there's, I don't know what plantings,
Yeah,
but there's some plantings.
There's plantings.
I mean, most of the plantings-
There also, we need this reference to the illumination.
So the following conditions, I'm gonna eliminate my one,
All
I
those
said,
other-
so number one would be a revised plan showing plantings within the proposed site landscaping plan, so that should be done anyway, even for phase one or two, according to the recommendation made by the town of Long Meadow tree warden and referencing applicant's plan C7. And then condition number two will be an acceptable photometric plan.
and
Those
then,
are the two conditions of approval for phase one to move forward.
okay. I think that, does that work?
Did you have that, Zach? I'm
I
sorry.
thought the application was for an addition, though.
It is, that's what
So then
Walter
we
was
have to
saying.
donate the condition that, and that's part of the.
You wanna go back to my original one that says the child?
No, because I
I
think,
think you just add a third one then.
Well, I had to have that, that's what I did, was it deliver proposed building structure to the site plan to include dimensions, height, architectural elevation, blah, 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 prior to the issuance of any building permit. It could be submit plans shall deliver to the planning board for the proposed buildings and structures within the site. I could say phase two. Plan to include dimensions, height, and architectural elevations and show exterior entrances prior to the issuance of any building permit. I don't know if that's necessary now.
I don't think that's necessary, they'll have to do it anyway, plus, I mean, there's supposedly,
Okay, I
before
got
it's
it.
filed,
I'm gonna start all over again.
they're gonna come back.
I got one. I'm gonna move
So we can say
to
what
approve
we
the site
need.
plan submitted case 2024-0207-1 for 1148 Converse Street. With the note that it is delineated into two phases, phase one and phase two. with the following conditions. Phase 1, revised plan, condition number 1, a revised plan showing plantings with the proposed site landscaping plan according to the recommendations made by the town of Long Meadow tree warden, referencing applicant's plan C7, and, condition 2, an acceptable photometric plan.
Yes,
I believe-
except I think you should put in phase 1 and phase 2 as shown on page.
See,
Oh, okay, thank you, as shown on C4, thank you, Cheryl, already corrected me.
Yeah.
So, you wanna read that back, Seth?
Why don't you restate it again, so that I make.
Okay, I move to approve the site plan submitted, case number 2024-0207-1 for 1148 Converse Street, with a notation that the plan, as referenced on C4, the applicant's plan C4 has been delineated into phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is approved with the following conditions. 1, a revised plan showing planting with the proposed site landscaping plan according to the recommendations made by the town of Long Meadow tree warden, referencing applicant's plan C7, and 2, an acceptable photometric plan.
I think then we also need to say phase 2 is not being approved at this time, which includes the building.
Okay, then say phase 1
Proposed
only
building.
in the, phase 1 only. It's delineated into phase 1 and phase 2 as shown on the applicant's plan C4. I move to approve phase 1 only on the following conditions. 1 and 2, the landscaping and the photometric. How's that?
Okay, although maybe just at the end of it, just add a sentence, phase 2 will be considered later.
Yeah, the applicant will return.
Yeah.
Phase 2 approval.
Yeah, well,
Right.
okay, so that would be after my conditions.
Yeah.
That can be a condition.
Yeah, condition to return.
Condition 3, so condition 3, the applicant will return,
At a later date.
and there we go. At a later date, I can do the proposed buildings and the structures and all that site thing. You want me to put that in there?
Well, just say for phase 2.
Everything,
For phase 2,
Phase
okay.
2.
because it all, it
Okay,
might change, if the building changes, the site might change, who knows? Stormwater might get smaller, so these months.
Let's take 4,
Okay,
my final,
I'll second.
my final operative motion.
okay, all in favor? Bruce,
Yes,
Brian?
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Cheryl, yes, Walter?
Yes.
Yes, okay,
Sure.
all right,
So did you follow that, what we just said?
okay.
Over the last 36 years, I've been sad many.
So now it gets better. So now we have to notify you of the 20-day appeal period because I will write a decision that will be filed with the town clerk, you know the drill. And, someone can appeal, one of your neighbors can say, oh, I decided this is just terrible and appeal it, but, not for this amount of work. No, but I'll work on it post haste, because Zach will conveniently send me as soon as possible, notes to this minutes, and that's why I recorded it, just so I get it right. Was that fun?
So just for the record, our building was built in 1979, and we had one building. In 1985, 1979, and then 85, we had an addition of our gym. 1987, it gets backward. In 1987, there was an addition in the back. We added 3 classrooms. Then in 1999, we had our cafeteria and 2 more classrooms. Right now, so the scope of our, and I mentioned the scope of our institution changed from basically being a school, toddlers, 50 months through 8th grade. We also have, I mentioned adult education. There are about 57 or so different programs, events, educational programs that we conduct throughout the year. So our school has drawn people to Western Massachusetts and to Long Meadow. Some of the people that I don't know who you hang out with and who you talk to, but it's very hard to bring people to Western Massachusetts, professionals, doctors, lawyers, etc. I hear people talk about this all the time. We managed to attract people to this community, which helps the entire, in this industry, helps the community, helps the real estate industry. And we are open to all kinds of people, many people, it's mostly Jewish people that attend our programs and services, but there is a cross section of the entire community that comes to our events and or comes to us for historical support. We feel that we've become a leader in the Jewish community, in Jewish nursing, Jewish geriatric, JCC, the synagogues. A lot of people took the Jewish Federation, a lot of people in the community look to us for guidance, for support. So we have done a lot to enhance the life and the culture in this community. And thank God things are growing. We have a lot of activities. It's not enough room in the building. It's very, very tight. So hopefully we get to phase 2, we'll be able to expand and just have more room down the road, again, we estimate track more people. And we're a good neighbor.
Well, thank you for coming tonight. We'll look forward to seeing your project come to fruition and the design for the building soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are definitely ready for the fundraising podium. Very well done.
It's a major.
I know, fundraising is a.
But would you mind, I just didn't catch everyone's name, I got first name, I didn't catch everyone's.
Bruce Colton.
Bruce Colton,
Bryant Miller.
Brian Miller,
Chris Legendre,
his last name,
Legendre,
DeJandre,
Cheryl Thibodeau.
And Walter Gunn.
nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too, Rabbi.
Okay, thank you.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Okay, Zach, did you get the TV working?
Yeah, so
Okay.
the Zoom's been working, it's been recording, we have it recorded.
Okay, are you able to pull up the, revisions?
Yeah, let me see if I can, the TV is not, TV itself is not,
We can watch Hulu?
yeah, you can
Oh, that'd be fun.
watch some Netflix. Netflix.
Well, I guess I'll ask, did everyone have a chance to look over, the proposed revisions to the sign regulations?
Yes.
Catherine, okay,
Are they any different than the ones that, I don't know, I'm not sure when it was done, but I printed out on February 15th?
what have we,
Because it looks like it's the same thing.
there,
I mean, our meeting was on the 7th, so.
Yeah.
Is there any revisions?
no, no,
You remember who was red and who was blue? Was Jay one of them, and then blue, one of them was Cheryl? Cheryl, Brenda.
I think Corinne was red and Jay
Might have
was
been
blue.
Okay, yeah. No, it seems,
it's pretty straightforward.
it is.
Everyone's had a chance to review it and we're all feeling comfortable with it, we can, so, I don't know,
We vote to send it to the select board, I guess, for the
I
one.
think so, yeah,
You can't recommend it because we need a public hearing on that, but,
yeah, I
which
guess,
is, you're gonna have an April, right?
yeah. Yeah, I guess we just vote to send it to the select board. And then they send it back to us and then we have the public hearing. We didn't talk
Oh,
about,
that's true, this has never gone to the select board, so yeah, we have to, send this to the select board.
Right.
Yeah, you're voting to agree as a unit that those are the proposed changes.
okay,
A unit, wow.
Well,
Is that what we're
as a
doing?
board, as a board.
okay.
A cohesive board.
I will make a motion then for us to, vote as a cohesive board to send these to the select board as our, recommended and final revisions to the sign regulations.
Right, Article 9. So
Article 9,
I know,
I'll
oh,
second.
yeah.
okay. All in favor? Bruce?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Cheryl, yes, Walter,
Yes.
okay. All right, great. So we'll get it back and then we'll have the public hearing in April.
Assuming they accept to put it on the warrant.
Yes.
When did it, I forgot, I said that time, do we remember when they have to close them? Or no, they don't
well,
have,
they're the ones who decide.
yeah, they don't close until the end of April, yeah, okay, it's just, they have to just say, send it back to us.
What is the, I think the meeting is
So,
May 11th or something like that.
But the town meeting,
The town
I think you're right,
14.
14.
But when's the next select board
So
meeting?
I
Yeah,
don't know, did they have one this Monday? Or would it be next Monday?
Cause Corinne's not back yet, so how would this would that be your job, Zach, to get it to the,
Yeah, I can talk with Mike.
we gotta get a mic and then,
I can talk with Mike as to next steps now that
Oh,
we know
yes,
that both have been approved,
yeah, I don't know when the next,
so I can discuss with them.
cause we have to post this and advertise it.
We have time. We talked about this timeline the
We
other
talked
day.
about this time the other day, yeah.
So, yeah, we have enough time with the reminder and the postings.
Okay, on that, so Jay did not join the meeting. There's no one on Zoom?
There's nobody.
Okay,
Any legal meltdowns.
so for
Thank
our,
you, Chris, for pointing out this one.
Yeah, I still want to approve it.
That's why I love you, buddy.
So for the April meeting dates, I am going to be away for work for our, the first Wednesday of April. And so I was going to propose that we move our meeting to Monday. Zach, did you double check? Are
Yes.
the 8th and 9th both good days?
So, 8, 12, and 31 are available on the 9th.
Okay,
Currently, this room is being held right now, for the 3rd and the 8th.
Well,
okay,
the third is ours.
Yeah, yeah,
Meaning us
it
held
was
for-
us anyway, but so like the 8th is an alternate for this room. It's being held by.
for us?
Yes,
Oh, okay. So I guess what day works better for everyone?
Well, I'm free all week.
Okay. Mondays are generally better for me if that works for everyone. Is that the day, is that the day that works for Corinne too? Zach, Monday?
I think so.
Okay,
Talk about April 8th.
yeah. Is that okay with you, Walter? Okay,
It's fine with me.
okay.
Oh, what is that basketball practice, but, what's the name of that again? I'm actually called.
Doesn't have to be 7.
What time is your basketball
6:30 to
practice?
8.
10:30?
Oh, 6:30 to 8.
We'll make it at
At
8:30.
Blueberry.
4 AM?
Blueberry.
What do you want?
Are you the coach or?
I am the coach.
Does someone else coach with you?
Use the code.
No, just me, it's my
Oh.
organization and my board, so.
Well, it's just a regular meeting and public hearing. So far, I don't think we're gonna see.
I think it's just a public hearing for our,
Yeah, for this.
There's a
because I
solar
think we moved
petition.
the solar. did it move
The solar's
in
May.
Yeah, and that'll be for April.
The solar, I think. is
No, I
May.
thought solar's supposed to be May.
I'll have to double check my notes.
Okay.
There is a public hearing that will hit in April.
I think it's
That's the
for,
one for the.
our
that's for the,
regulations.
yes, the,
Correct. I think you're right.
Bylaw change.
so it's basketball, yeah.
So what time do we settle?
We didn't settle on a time.
What time would you be at basketball?
Thursday.
I mean, we could have our meeting at 6.
Yeah, it's right there, at the Blueberry, so.
Yeah. Could probably get
Can you
most
do
of the
6?
meeting
Can we
in.
do earlier?
Yeah, I could, well, I mean, I'm retired.
Yeah, okay, all right, so we'll do it on the 8th at 6. Is that okay? Is that okay with you, Zach? Okay. Yeah, and then we can probably get in most of our meeting
Well,
before.
what's that, what are you, so you're already here working on Monday, right? So.
Yeah, I have flex hours. so
Is
it's
it better to
all
be a little
fine.
earlier then? Because of
We
you,
could,
because you're already hanging
as
around
early as
town?
5, whatever you guys
I
want.
can come at 5.
It really just depends if there's conflict in this room at that time, like prior to this meeting, there was a
I
school
doubt it.
committee, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't-
really don't think it can.
Well, we could do,
We'll find
5:30.
Okay,
5:30 is good. And this is April, what?
April 8th. Is that, oh, we have a hold on the room, right?
yeah, we did.
Okay,
At what time though? I mean,
so what,
5:30. Oh, the whole, you mean?
what time is our holds?
I don't know if there's a time specified.
April is perfect.
I was just CC'd with Corinne, so.
Okay. Well, if we do 5:30, that gives you a whole hour before practice, and that gives everyone enough time to move from wherever they are after work to get here,
Something else coming up is.
but
This is down.
We bring the daycare and it's at 4.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I think what was discussed was 7 PM, but I can check.
okay, yeah, see if you can do 5:30.
so I guess we'll move the meeting to the 8th as early as we can, but not before 5:30. Is that, okay?
Right,
All right, so I'll make a motion to move our April meeting to April 8th to occur not before 5:30 PM.
Yeah, and I can confirm.
Okay,
no second, that, sure.
okay. All in favor,
yes.
Bruce, Bryant?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Cheryl, yes, Walter?
Yes.
Okay, So I guess once you determine the time, we should probably figure that out pretty quickly, Zach, because we do have to send out those. public
Yeah, I can reach
hearing
out to her tomorrow.
notices. Okay.
Yeah, could be the run too.
Yeah. Okay, and then we'll have to double check, we wanted to check in with Jay on what dates he had in mind for the site design review training, so we'll have to get back in touch with him.
I think there's
Um,
also too, what dates work for you guys as well, if there's specific
Well,
dates.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotta go to Puerto Rico next Thursday for 2
Oh.
hours, for 10 days.
That's exciting. I think we wanted to know what dates he was available, and then we could maybe tack it on to the beginning
Thursday, like the
of a
8th.
meeting,
days.
or
Be back
do
on
a
the
special
24th.
meeting for it, because I think we wanted to make sure that we had set aside the time and that we weren't just tacking it on to a regular.
Yeah, so I can circle back
Okay.
and get a list of dates that you guys
Okay.
can look at.
Our long range plan, we only have 2 meetings left. Getting there. We are going to do, Barrett Planning Group is working on a full presentation for us to present the final product. I think we talked about this last time. I think that that's going to occur in June, probably like the hour before our meeting, so more to come on that. Corinne's not here, so we, will skip over the director of planning and community.
But I have a couple of things
Oh,
that are
okay.
on that.
Go for it.
So,
Oh, you do?
one of which was discussed was, do you guys want the LCTV to possibly record planning board meetings? That was something that was,
I think we talked about that before. I think we said yes, right?
okay, so that is, the other option, we could also just post Zooms on the YouTube channel as well too, and that could satisfy. the
I just know,
public.
what's the cost of them, getting them involved, the crew from
It
LCD?
wasn't something that.
They used to be a budget item, that's why we, staffing and everybody, just was select board and
Okay.
school committee seemed to take priority.
So
So,
like budget contingent.
but, you know, so
You guys
I mean, we don't
would be
care, right? You know?
Yeah, I think that was something that we were approached with, so I don't know what the genesis of the ask was.
Yeah. The messenger.
Yeah, no, I think if it's, whatever if it's
Okay.
approved and it's
Yeah.
something that they have reached out or the town would like us to do, then I think that's great.
Okay.
Did you have something else?
No, that was it. It was just
Okay.
the recording
Okay.
items.
All right, updates, from other committees, Community Preservation Committee.
Community preservation, yeah, all, articles have been approved and sent to the, select board, put on the warrant.
Okay,
We're done with our work.
okay, Energy and Sustainability Committee.
Yeah, there wasn't a meeting in February, but through those the mailings for the home energy audits that they got 45 calls back on those. People wanna have home energy audits, and they've got like 36 have already been done this year.
Okay, that's great.
The next meeting's in March 20.
Okay. Chris, Middle School Building Committee?
So we got our architect assigned to us by the MSBA.
Mhm.
So we had an introductory meeting with them 2 weeks ago now.
Okay,
And they are starting this Friday when the school's at half day. They're gonna meet the teachers over at Glenbrook and kind of get a feel for what's going on and then start their existing conditions review, and then we'll get into design. So,
nice.
yeah.
Did they pick a site yet, or is this still, they'll do all?
We still have to look at like all the sites, and we have to look at straight rehab plus addition, new construction only, so we have to look at everything.
Okay,
Present that to MSBA and they'll tell us what we do.
Wow.
so the architect will put plans together for all of
Very
those.
high level conceptual
Okay.
plans with conceptual budgets, not like detailed plans, so. And they're only approved through schematic design is the agreement right now.
Interesting. More to come.
Did you say so rehab too is included, so?
That's the option we have to look at. We have to look at all of it,
I got you, yeah.
just for us to, have to tell us what we already, well, some of us already
Very
know,
nice,
so. I know, right? It's like.
All right, Pioneer Valley Planning Commission?
Nothing to report, no?
Okay. Any other business that we didn't talk about tonight?
I'm sure I might mention that the town clerk called me today and said
Oh.
that, the Attorney General's office has asked for another 30-day extension to, complete the review of, town meeting's approval of the zone change for the,
Christian Science
the
Church.
Science Church. So that's being dragged out. Don't know why, maybe they're busy.
Oh, you also said that they had asked.
Well, they asked a specific question if, we'd include a map of the property, map in the warrant.
Which has
Yeah.
never been
So it's-
included, although traditionally, what they would have is like the meets and bounds of the
Yeah, but I
property.
remember we did
I don't
actually. talk
remember
about
if
the
that was
deed.
in it or
No,
not.
the
deed
deed
is-
was,
the deed
we
is
had
all-
a
right, so
discussion
that's-
about the.
I don't think there'll be an issue with that. I don't know what's going on over at your office and why it's a strange question, but that's.
Could they choose to not
But
accept, could they?
I'm surprised I haven't heard from Colas from their attorney. Usually they kind of call me and say, what's going on? But apparently they're okay with it. But that's probably why we're not hearing anything about site and design review yet, because they still don't technically own that land as business zone.
Hmm.
But it will be retroactive back to.
The town meeting.
To town meeting. Fall, once it's approved. Not weird.
Okay. Any announcements?
Oh, Chris approved? Did you get your nomination? Are you on the ballot?
Approved when I left, I signed for myself and then, the signature, so that should be good.
Okay,
Apparently signatures were not good enough, all the ones I got, so.
We short
Really?
one, we short one.
Yeah, I had like 56 and apparently 7 weren't good for some reason, so.
And I got called by the clerk and I went and ran around with a sheet and got sitting here.
oh,
I actually stopped by your house. I don't think you were there, but I tried also.
I had already signed anyway.
We had, okay, it wouldn't matter. So yeah, I found 2 people I knew definitely.
Well, I signed
And
it.
then you were there.
Well, yeah, I had 56, I thought that was enough, so.
They said get 4 or 5
So-
extra.
Got 6 extras, I thought, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, normally that'd be enough.
I thought I had more than enough, I didn't think it was an issue, so.
Yeah, no, well,
All right, well, you're good.
Yeah.
You're in.
yeah, that's it. So
Okay,
yeah.
good. All right, that's a good announcement. Any planning board member comments?
No.
No? Okay, any visitor comments? All right, motion to adjourn. I'll entertain a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Bruce, Bryant?
Yep.
Chris?
Yes.
Cheryl, yes. Hey, it's 7:58. Okay,
The shortest meeting ever, I think.
that actually was really fast. Well, I anticipated that we